In this video, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 best point guards right now in NBA 2K23 Myteam. As you guys know, yesterday we got so many good new point guards in the out of position 2 set that I feel like the top 10 point guards have changed completely since the last time I did one of these videos. You guys can see right here, Dark Matter Cade is going to be in at number 10. I think he's still a great point guard. He's still 6'8" with a 7'1" wingspan. We know what Cade can do. He's really good at going to the basket, having those front clutches animations, also has a quick drops off one. He's still one of the better room running point guards in the game. The main flaws with Cade, in my opinion, though, has to come down to his jump shot really not being that great, especially with like all the other cards in this top 10. I would say most of them do have way better jump shots than Cade and are also way better on the defensive end, because even though Cade's 6'8", which is still solid, you know, it's still a very decent height or very good height for the point guard position, but his defensive stats and badges really aren't anything crazy, and in game he doesn't play that good a defense. I don't know if it's because of his tendencies, the stats, the badges. He's just a very mediocre defender in game. So for me personally, I do think Dark Matter Cade is the 10th best point guard. At the number 9 spot is going to be Pink Diamond Joe Ingles. I know that sounds kind of crazy to say, and you can still make the argument that Cade is better, but the way that I kind of look at it is Joe Ingles is 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan and very similar player models in game, at least by the weight and their kind of wide player builds. Very similar in my opinion, so that's not going to be too big of a difference. If you look at their stats, right, if you compare Cade Cunningham to Joe Ingles, I know it sounds crazy that a Pink Diamond Joe Ingles is a better point guard than Cade, who is a dark matter, but if you take a look at their stats, the only difference I see that actually is noticeable, you know, besides a +3 ball handle, a +1 speed with ball, a +2 vertical, a +1 speed, a +2 3 ball, none of that really matters. Besides, when you look at Joe Ingles' defensive stats, he's actually a much better defender than Cade. +5 interior defense, +5 perimeter, +8 steal, +4 block. You'll notice that a little bit in game that Joe Ingles is a much better defender than Cade. And then when you go to the animation screen, he's got a way better jump shot with the Rudy Gay upper. He's also got just as good as dribble 6 as Cade Cunningham, and the main difference is I feel like Joe Ingles is the better defender, and I also think Joe Ingles has the way better jump shot. So for me personally, I do think Joe Ingles is the 9th best point guard. At the number 8 spot is going to be the Pink Diamond Ousmane Dieng. He's a point guard shooting guard, 6'10" with a 7'2" wingspan. Another great out of position card that did drop yesterday. I think he's slightly better than Ingles. I think he plays slightly better defense Ingles, and I do like his dribble sigs a tad bit more, having that tray escape, where if you look at a card like Ingles, his escape I do believe is Chris Paul, which is still a really good escape, but I think the tray escape is definitely still a little bit better. But Dieng still got the quick drops off one, he's got the front clutches. I mean, just all around the card's got great movement, he's great at going to the basket, his jump shot's very solid, and I would say between Ousmane Dieng and Joe Ingles, it really does come down to preference. At the number 7 spot is going to be the Galaxyable Shaun Livingston. I know he's kind of like swept under the rug, that no one really talks about this card anymore, but still is a very solid point guard option, being 6'7" with a 6'11" wingspan. Amazing all around stats. I mean, the one thing I've always said about Shaun Livingston is there's very few flaws about this card. He's got great stats and badges. He's got a great jump shot with the JT Thor base and the Seti Osman upper. Basically, he's the LaMelo base, which is one of the best bases in the game on very quick timing. He's got those great dribble sigs, including the Kyle Lowry size up, and the Trae Young escape. He's also got the Dame behind the back, the front clutches. I mean, just all around, besides like his tendencies, the card's got really no flaws, and I do think is still the 7th best point guard in the game. At the number 6 spot is going to be the Dark Matter Jimmy Butler. Now I think number 6 and number 5 is very debatable and close. I do like number 5 a tad bit more than Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy's still an amazing point guard, being 6'7" with a 6'8" wingspan. We know Jimmy still brings that elite defense to the table with a 92 block, 98 steal, 98 perimeter, 94 interior defense. He's got tons of Hall of Fame defensive badges, tons of Hall of Fame playmaking badges, and then offensively, I mean, the card's got elite dribble sigs with the Trae Young escape, MJ dribble style. You know, even the Jimmy Butler size up isn't terrible. And then he's also got a very capable jump shot. Not my favorite release in the game, definitely not the best release for a point guard. As you guys will see, there are better point guards in the game that have better jump shots, but I do think Jimmy Butler is the 6th best PG. Now at number 5 is the Hero Penny Hardaway. I just personally really like this card. He's 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. I think for most people, they would pick Jimmy Butler over Penny Hardaway, and that is completely completely fair to say. Like, I just want to say that real quick. If you want to take Jimmy Butler over Penny Hardaway and say he's better, I mean, that is like, I can definitely see that because it's so close in my opinion between Jimmy Butler and Penny Hardaway. I just feel like this card is so quick in game and so good at getting downhill. Like, when I tried him out, and you guys can watch my gameplay if you want to, this card's 6'7", but he moves like he's 6'2", and he's super quick at getting to the rim. He's got great dribble sigs with the Penny Hardaway size up, one of my favorite size ups for getting downhill and attacking the basket. And then he's also got that tray escape. Yes, his jump shot, I would say, is very comparable to a card like Cade's. It's not going to be a good release, but it's not terrible in my opinion. The way that I kind of look at Penny Hardaway is he's Cade Cunningham with way better defense, a slightly better jump shot, and also moves way faster on the offensive end. Because that's another, flaw about Cade, is he moves really slow for being a 6'8" card. Like, he just moves very slow on that court. He has kind of sluggish dribble sigs, and just he moves a little bit slower. Where Penny Hardaway, he just feels super quick with the ball in his hands, and for that reason, I do think Penny Hardaway is the 5th best point guard in the game. At the number 4 spot, this sounds crazy to say, but it's the Galisupo Turkoglu. He's 6'10" with a 6'11" wingspan. And when I tell you guys, this card is so overpowered because of his jump shot. I mean, he's got 25 Hall of Fame badges, really good all-around stats and badges. You take a look at his animations, this jump shot on very quick timing is so easy to green number 1 and also super quick. He's also got the Kyle Lowry size up, and he does have the Steph Curry escape. He's got front clutches, amazing dunk packages. Like, this Turkoglu all around, I think, is the 4th best point guard in the game. I mean, you could definitely put Penny or Jimmy Butler over Turkoglu. I just think this card's jump shot is so overpowered. He's 6'10" at the 1. I mean, he's just one of the more glitchy cards currently in the game. At the number 3 spot is going to be the Dark Matter Ron Artest. He's a point guard, shooting guard, 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. I think he's just a better version of Jimmy Butler, because if you take a look at his defensive stats, he's got those Jimmy stats, he's got those Jimmy badges, even slightly better than a card like Jimmy. But the main difference is he's got a way better jump shot, like not even comparable. Like, Ron Artest's release is way better than Jimmy Butler, and he's also got slightly better dribble sigs because they both have the Trae Young escape. But then the Ron Artest does have Donovan Mitchell size up, which is a lot better than the Jimmy Butler size up. So Ron Artest, the way that I look at him, is just a better Jimmy Butler. Both great point guards in the game, very comparable. I just think Ron Artest is a better version of Jimmy Butler. At the number 2 spot, I still think you got to give it to the hero MJ. Is he as overpowered as he once was before the out of position drop? No, because even before Penny Hardaway, right, the next best point guard was Jimmy Butler, who's all the way at number 6. So I do think MJ is still the 2nd best point guard in the game, but just maybe not as dominant. Like, he's only had, less than a week before he's been dethroned of being the best point guard. He's still really good though, 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan, basically perfect stats and badges. He's got that KPJ base, which is one of the best, if not the best bases in the game, but that MJ upper really does ruin the jump shot for me and a lot of other people. It's still a great release, it's just maybe not on that like Terry Dishinger, T-Mac type of level when we're talking about the KPJ base. And then he's also got great dribble sigs. He's still an amazing card, great defender, really good at going to the basket, can still create his own shot. I just think the number 1 guy, who is the Dark Matter hero Jokic, is just so overpowered. Like, they juiced out this card and souped out this card like crazy. I mean, he's 6'11" at the point guard position, 7'3" wingspan. He's got 40 Hall of Fame badges on his hero version. I mean, you take a look at his stats, damn near perfect, nothing below a 90. That really does matter besides intangibles and shot IQ. Everything above a 90, most things above a 92. You take a look at the badges, I mean, has all the badges you'd want on the card, on Hall of Fame and gold. You take a look at the animations. The Eric Paschal base is actually very solid, and then he's got the Oscar Robertson upper, which is one of the best, if not the best uppers in the game, on very quick timing. He's got very solid dribble sigs. I mean, that doesn't really matter too much though, as long as he can move at a decently high level. I mean, he's still a 6'11" point guard who can move very well, has a great jump shot, good dunk packages, and even solid tendencies as well. So I mean, this Jokic card, easily the best point guard in my opinion. I think he's probably a top 3 to 5 card currently in the game. I mean, he's really just that overpowered. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my top 10 point guards? I know you guys probably would change a lot, especially with cards like Jimmy Butler and Penny Hardaway. I know a lot of people do love Jimmy, and I think he's an amazing point guard. I just think there are some cards that are slightly better, but let me know what you guys think about my top 10 PGs, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.